Alright, what's cracking, my dudes? Um, Once again, too lazy to actually set up a camera and stuff. But anyways, I'm just gonna see Avengers tonight. Because I'm special. I work in a movie theater and I can do stuff like that. Um, so I get to see it before all you nerds who actually care. No, I care a little bit, but not as much. So I thought I would talk about every single Marvel movie, but I'm gonna try and go fast. Okay. So in 2008, Thor came out. I mean, Iron Man came out. Um, and it's okay. It's not my favorite at all. I mean, for the time, like, it was the first one. All right. I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man, the character himself. The villain wasn't that great, and just nothing really memorable in it. Pretty standard movie. And then after that, the same year, Hulk came out. Once again, nothing stands out in this movie. The villain sucks again. I mean, Edward Norton's good, but the rest of no one else in the movie is all that great. Um, and it's okay. It's decent. Um, so yeah, Iron Man 2, I've never seen actually, but it's usually considered the worst one. All right, and then Thor, the first Thor. Um, it's cool because this one I like. It's a smaller story. It's not like the world's gonna end. It's just in a small town. Um, Thor is okay in the movie. Um, it's different. This one's kind of got the weird sci-fi planet. So it's decent, but not nothing great. And then the first Captain America movie. I saw this one just a few weeks ago. It's got some cheesy parts in it, but it's got some pretty decent parts. I think it's a little rushed. The movie's like the pace is too fast. I think it could have been slowed down a little bit. But I like the character of Captain America. I think he's my favorite character. All right, and then the Avengers. It doesn't hold up as well as everyone remembers it being the greatest thing that ever came out. I mean, it's decent. It's honestly kind of boring. There's a lot of it is just kind of filler, and to give it a longer run time, because I feel like for most of the movie they're like, I don't know what else to do. We have this big battle at the end, which is pretty good. It's actually I like it, but like we gotta find something else to do for the rest of the movie. Um, but yeah, no, there's some parts that are kind of cheesy, kind of like. But so that's phase one. Phase one makes complete sense to me. It's all just it completely sets up the universe. It shows you each of the characters. They each get their own movie. It sets up the Avengers, sets up the whole universe. Now phase two. So we have Iron Man 3. I remember going to this one in the theaters. It was packed. We had to sit up in the front. Um, Not that great. I like the Mandarin, and I actually find it funny that he turns out to just be an actor. But the thing I don't like is I don't like the other guy who like is all fiery and stuff. I don't like him. Once again, not the biggest fan of Iron Man. I don't really care about Pepper Potts, Um, so I just don't care about that one as much. Um, but I think I remember enjoying it when I saw it the first time. All right, and then Thor 2. Um, it's honestly not that great. I mean, I like Thor, but like there's some weird space elves shooting red stuff in the sky. I don't even know. The plot was just like, what the heck is going on? I don't even, it's hard, I can't remember it very well, but I just remember it was just mumbo jumbo weird stuff happening, and it was just kind of, I felt like it tried to be too dramatic. Um, and it was just that one didn't work out as well. Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. I remember this one had some like good action. It was cool because it was more of a kind of a spy movie. Um, I like Captain America. I like Falcon. Nick Fury's good, even though they kill him, but then bring him back to life. And then they bring Bucky back, which I don't even remember who Bucky was until like they're like, oh, that's Captain America's friend. Remember? Oh yeah, sure, I remember him. Okay, like he kind of just was there in the first movie, and like, oh, gone. Like, I feel like they didn't really, he wasn't even really a thing until that. But solid movie, probably one of the better ones. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a sci-fi, like really out there sci-fi. Like, it's got some cool aliens. It's got some, you know, neat visuals. I love the soundtrack. I think the performances are all good. One of the better ones. Like Guardian, it's fun. It's not a great movie or anything. It's not like Citizen Kane, but good fun. You know. And then Avengers 2. I remember when the trailer for this came out, it was so much hype. I was hyped for it. The trailer looked great. The movie came out, and it was like, oh, that was good. Yeah. Looking back on it, I feel like they tried to shove too much into the movie. Like, they tried to set up Thor Ragnarok, which that movie didn't even come out for like 2 more years. They tried to set up Civil War. Um, and just like, I don't know, I felt like there was a lot shoved in there. They throw Vision in there, they throw Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and some other people, and it felt like a little too much. And then, but yet it also kind of felt like the same plot of the first one, and it just feels too similar, and they just shove too much. It gets a little bloated, um, and I feel like that's when they started. The one-liners kept coming, and it was too quippy, and it's like, hey guys, just can we be serious for a second? Not too serious, but not everything has to be a joke. Then Ant-Man came out. I do not like Ant-Man. I don't know what it is. I don't like the villain, and it feels way too much like the first Iron Man movie. Um, and I don't know. It didn't feel all that great to me. I didn't think it was all that funny. I didn't think the action was that good. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like Ant-Man. Is my least favorite. Civil War, I think, is really good. I only saw it when it came out in theater, so it has been a while. But I love Captain America. I think the conflict is great. There's a real story there. It's not just, oh, the world's gonna end. Let's punch some guys or something. There's good conflict, some good action in the movie. Um, you know, like Cap, and I think I like the end. When Cap, um, and Iron Man and Bucky, they're all just in that fight. You know, and I think there's actually some really good stuff in that movie. And I like how it's not just some villain just like, oh, I'm gonna blow up the world. So that's cool. Doctor Strange, I actually haven't seen that one. After I saw Civil War, I watched all the movies and I just got way burned out and I was like, I can't do Marvel anymore. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I was like, I can't do it. Eventually I watched it and it's not as good as the first one. I don't like Kurt Russell's character all that much. I thought that whole thing was like, eh. It's like I still liked some of the characters. I like some of the visuals, but I just didn't like the story as much in that one. Spider-Man: Homecoming, one of my favorites. Mostly because I just like it as a comedy. The action isn't all that great, really. Um, it just makes me want to see more of like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man because that was gritty. That was like they're really wearing costumes. It's not just CGI. You can see the dirt and the sweat and the blood, and you can feel the punches. Here's just kind of like, oh, woo. It's just yeah. Um, I'm not saying it's awful. It's just it doesn't have that realism to it and makes it really great. Like I think the Sam Raimi's ones do. But it's hilarious. I think the casting is great. I think it's like some people are saying, oh yeah, they had to force diversity and like had to make all his friends brown people, which I don't care because they were all great. Um, but yeah, I like it more as a comedy. And I think this one actually does work as a comedy because that's kind of Spider-Man. Some of the other ones, I feel like they kind of just force the comedy on there, and it's just it doesn't work. Thor 3, best of the Thor movies, and at this point it's like I'm kind of sick of Marvel, but some of them are getting better because this movie had some like good practical effects, and costumes, and I feel like Thor, um, I really more connected with him in this movie than some of the other ones. I feel like he was more likable character. Um, the villain, once again, not great. I feel like Kate Blanchett was a little over the top, but I mean, still a good movie overall. Uh, and then Black Panther. Black Panther, I thought was it was different. Kind of, and I actually like the villain. I think Michael B. Jordan, once again, a little over the top at times, but he's still a good actor, still enjoyable to watch, even when he's more over the top. I think I liked him more than the Black Panther character himself. Um, I'm not a big fan of just Black Panther. Like he's cool, but it's not like, oh yeah, I love that character. I like the world. You know, um, I think it's got an interesting plot. But yet, when I think about it, it's like, well, isn't the bad guy right? Because the bad guy wants to says we need to share this technology, and everyone's like, no, we can't. And then once they defeat the bad guy, they're like, okay, let's share our technology. So it's like I'm a little confused. I just think the villain went about it the wrong way. So that's interesting, and it's different. And then Infinity Wars comes out tonight. Well, actually, no, it comes out tomorrow night. I'm seeing it tonight. Um, but yeah, I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider Man, and Civil War would be my top three uh, favorites. I think those movies they stand out to me. They actually felt like good movies, just in general. You know, I wouldn't say there's like 9 or 10s, but maybe an 8 or 7. Really solid. Good action, fun movies. Um, and then I'd have to say like Hulk, the first Iron Man, definitely Ant Man, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, maybe even the first Avengers, Thor 2. Just not all that great. And then the rest are kind of just they're good movies. They're nothing bad. Like I said, my other thing, it's more just they're all too similar, yet they're different. You know, like I feel like one is more of kind of a spy movie, one's more kind of a comedy, one's more of like a weird sci-fi. They have different tones and stuff, which is good, but yet the plots and the humor and the action and the effects, and even though like it could be two completely different settings and designs, they still have the same feel to them, and they all just they all have the same kind of color palette and the same music, and I feel like all the characters are the same. So I don't know. So I mean, honestly, I enjoy a decent amount of them. It's just the fact that there's so many. And I think there are better action movies out there. These aren't the only action movies, the only, comedy movies. There's other movies out there. And that's just I get a little, where I start to dislike the franchise. Because on their own, if you would have showed me, some of these movies, I'd never seen the other ones, I might be a little confused, but I'd be like, hey, that was pretty good. It was fun. You know, not necessarily the best filmmaking. Like definitely could be. I mean, the cinematography is not all that great. It's very basic, but it's normal. It's not like there's great music. I think there's a few themes that are pretty decent. Um, you know, it's not like the performances are fantastic. Like ooh, and the directions aren't like great. I mean, I think they do what they need to do, but yeah. So that's all my thoughts on every Marvel movie. Um, Tell me what you think. Actually, I don't care. And that's all I gotta say about that.